Before starting off this video, I would like to give a shout out to my friends at Glazed. So the Honor 8X, as you know, does not have a Gorilla Glass on the front, so you should definitely buy a tempered glass for your phone. I have been using one from Glazed Ink. It's their full glue edge-to-edge glass and I really like it, and I think it's one of the best ones for the Honor 8X. So yeah, if you want one for your Honor 8X, the link is in the video's description. You can use the promo code GIZMO and get 10% off your order. Hey guys, gizmoddict here, and this is the Honor 8X. So this is the only phone that I haven't reviewed in the 15,000 rupees price bracket, and honestly there have been way too many smartphones, especially in the last 1 month in this particular segment. You've got so many phones now like the Redmi Note 5 Pro, the Zenfone Max Pro, the Nokia 6.1 Plus, the Moto 1 Power, the Mi A2, the Realme 2 Pro, and now the Honor 8X. So the big question is, should you buy the Honor 8X over the competition? That's the question that we'll be answering in this video, so make sure that you stick around till the end, and if you're coming to this channel for the first time, then make sure you hit the red subscribe button and press the notification bell so that you don't miss out on more awesome videos like these. And I'm making this video in Hindi as well, so if you like watching Hindi tech reviews, then definitely the link would be in the video's description. Now let's get started with the review of the Honor 8X. So Honor has actually done quite a few things on the outside as well as on the inside on the 8X to make the phone stand out. First of all, we're going to talk about the things on the outside, and I mean just look at that design. This is definitely one of the best looking phones in this segment, and I really like the blue shade. It's got this dual tone effect, and when it reflects light, it looks very beautiful. There's also a red color of the Honor 8X that you get in China. Unfortunately, it's not available in India, and I really like that shade more as compared to the blue one, but unfortunately it's not available in India yet, and I hope it comes very soon. But yeah, you've got glass on the back and you've got metal on the sides, so this is definitely one of the most premium feeling phones in this segment, and I really love the build quality on this phone. Honor has done a great job, no doubts about that, and if you want the best looking phone in this price segment, then this is the phone that you should be buying. Although one thing that I'd like to mention is that it's a fingerprint magnet, considering it's a glass back and it's very glossy. So yeah, if you want to protect your phone from all of the fingerprints, then you should definitely use the case that Honor bundles with this phone. But yeah, overall I love the design of this phone, and if you want the best looking phone for 14,000 rupees, the 8X is the phone that you should be buying. The same story continues on the front as well. On the front, you've got a massive 6.5-inch display, the biggest in this segment, and the screen to body ratio is almost 91%. The bezels are very thin for a phone of this price segment, and overall I love the display on this phone. It's a full HD plus display, so it's very sharp, the colors pop out, the viewing angles are great, and overall it's a very good display. And if you like consuming a lot of content on your phone, you will love the 6.5-inch display on the Honor 8X. Like I said, the bezels are super thin, and coupled with that huge display, it definitely feels like a phone from a segment above considering its price point. So yeah, from the outside, the Honor 8X gets a huge thumbs up from my side. But then one thing that I didn't like with respect to the build quality of this phone is that you don't get Gorilla Glass on the front. So I'm not sure how good this screen is with respect to scratches and things like that, but Honor does give you a plastic screen protector pre-applied on the phone. But still, I would recommend you to get a tempered glass, and if you want the one that I have been using on my phone, then I'll drop a link in the video's description. No Gorilla Glass, so you should probably use a tempered glass. Now let's come to the inside of the Honor 8X, and on the inside, the Honor 8X gets the new Kirin 710 chipset, and it's based on their 12nm architecture. So yeah, it's one of the first phones with their new chipset, and you can get it in the 4 or the 6GB variant if I'm not wrong. I have the 4GB variant, and you also have the GPU turbo technology on the Honor 8X. The new chipset along with EMUI ends up giving a very smooth and fluid experience on the Honor 8X. Since Honor, or rather Huawei, kind of make their own chipsets, they optimize it very well for EMUI, and in day-to-day performance it's great. Memory management can be a bit harsh on EMUI, so it might kill a lot of your apps in the background, but then you can go to settings, battery usage, and here you can manage the apps manually and stop them from auto killing. So yeah, You can do that, you can manage the auto start in the settings menu, so that's great. In terms of gaming performance, I feel the 710 keeps up with the Snapdragon 636 phones. I've played PUBG on it for quite some time, and while it's smooth for the most part, I feel that the Snapdragon 660 on Realme 2 Pro does better. But some other games like Asphalt 9 run great on the phone, and I've had no complaints with gaming on this phone. And also I didn't face any of the overheating issues as well. Talking about EMUI, currently this phone is running on Android 8.1 Oreo, but then the Android Pie update is in the pipeline and it should be available in the first couple of months of 2019. EMUI is a very feature-rich interface. You've got tons of small features, gestures, etc. that you would appreciate, and they can also be very handy at times. For instance, you can turn off the notch for individual apps. So let's say I want the notch display to be on, but then it was giving me problems in PUBG. So I just went to notch settings and I turned the notch display off for PUBG, and I'm good to go. Similarly, you've got this feature where you can lower the resolution of the display, so if you're in for a really long day and you don't have access to a charger, then you can turn it on and save battery. And if you were to dig deeper into the phone, there are tons and tons of features like these, so if you want an Honor 8X tips and tricks video, then definitely let me know in the comments and I'll make sure that I'll make one. But then the bottom line is EMUI is not bad. The updates are going to be quite slow, but then you get tons and tons of features, so yeah, you lose some and you gain some. Also, another thing that I would like to mention is that the Honor 8X gets the Widevine L1 support. The Honor Play had the L3 support, but on the 8X, as you can see, you have the L1 support. But then in spite of having L1 support, Netflix was still at 540p. I don't know why. The Zenfone 5Z had a similar issue. Then Asus sent an update and fixed it. So yeah, this is probably a minor software issue and it should be fixed in the future. So yeah, you've got Widevine L1 support, but as of now, the support is only up to 540p. And now it's time to jump to the most talked about feature on this phone, the camera. On the back, we've got a 20+2 megapixel sensor, and on the front, there's a 16 megapixel sensor. Right off the bat, I feel that the front-facing camera is one of the best in the business. The selfies have good amount of detailing and saturation, and the edge detection is much better than the Realme 2 Pro. So advantage Honor here. In terms of rear-facing camera, while it's good for the most part, it is definitely not the best in the segment. It starts to show its weaknesses in indoor and low lighting conditions, and even though there is support for camera to API, it is very difficult to get Google Camera working on it because of that Kirin chipset. In my camera comparison video with the Realme 2 Pro, as expected, the Honor fanboys did get mad at me for not trying out the night mode. But honestly, night mode is not very ideal unless you have a tripod. The shutter is set to too long, so even if you try to keep a very steady hand, you will still get very blurry images. So it's best suited for when you have a tripod. So yeah, there is night mode and AIS, but still, it doesn't help a lot in low lighting conditions. So yeah, the rear facing camera is not very exciting, but then if you want a closer look into the 8X's camera, then please go watch my camera comparison video with the Realme 2 Pro. For some reason, even though there is good enough hardware on the Honor 8X, there is no support for 4K video and there is no EIS as well. So yeah, that's pretty disappointing because almost every other phone in this segment has 4K support and it also supports 1080p electronic image stabilization. So yeah, two major things missing on the Honor 8X. It would be great if they can add it with a software update, but yeah, overall the rear facing camera leaves a bit to be desired, and while it's good in normal lighting conditions, it's not the best in the business. I honestly feel they could have done a better job if they tweaked the software a bit more, but then they didn't, and that kinds of makes the camera experience on this phone a mixed bag. Where they did do a great job though is in terms of battery life. The 3750 mAh battery on the Honor 8X coupled with the 12nm processor gives some very good battery life on the phone. I could easily get more than 7 hours of screen on time on a single charge, and that's super impressive for a battery of this size. So it speaks volumes about the optimization that Honor has done with the 12nm chipset on the 8X. So yeah, battery life is not an issue on the Honor 8X. In spite of that huge 6.5-inch display, it's still a 1.5 day battery phone and I've had no issues with it. If you're a medium user, you can probably even go up to 2 days, but even if you're a very heavy user, 1.5 days is easily achievable on the Honor 8X and you can get more than 7 hours of screen on time. So yeah, don't worry about the battery life. It takes around 2.5 hours to charge, so not the fastest. There is no support for fast charging as well. But then still, I'm happy with the battery life on this phone and they've done a great job. The call quality and network reception has also been good on this phone. You've got dual VoLTE, dual 4G and a separate SD card slot as well. So if the built-in storage is not enough for you, you can throw in an SD card as well. Audio via the headphone jack was good as well, but then here there is a twist. So if you go into the audio settings, you will have this Hisense option where you can toggle different modes for audio. So I personally found the best setting in the natural mode as compared to all of the other options that were available. But then depending on the type of earphones, it's actually going to vary. So you should try out all of the settings that are available and choose that is the best for you. So while the audio via the headphone jack is good, you will have to play around with the settings a bit until you get that perfect sound that you want. You've also got a fingerprint sensor on the back that's very fast. It's as fast as any other phone in this price segment, and there is face unlock too. While it works for the most part, I think the one on the Realme 2 Pro is faster than the Honor 8X, but still, I think this is the second best face unlock in the smartphones in this price bracket. It works as it should and I have no complaints with it. There's also an LED notification light right next to the front facing camera. A lot of phones lately are losing the LED notification light, I don't know why, but then still I'm very happy to see it on the Honor 8X. But now it's time to come back to the question that I asked at the start of this video. Does it make sense to buy the Honor 8X? Well, honestly, for me, the Honor 8X is kind of a jack of all trades, but a master of none apart from that build quality and display, if that makes any sense. I mean, there is no particular feature that strikes out on the Honor 8X. If you see other phones in this price bracket, the Realme 2 Pro has a Snapdragon 660, so it offers the best performance for the price. The Nokia 6.1 Plus has a much better camera with Google Camera, and it's got Android One, and the updates are the fastest on that phone. So every phone has something going for it, and on the Honor 8X, the only thing that stand out are the design and the display, and that's about it. In comparison to the Realme 2 Pro, if you want to game a lot on your phone, then I would suggest the Realme 2 Pro. But then if you want a phone with a bigger display, a phone that looks better, and it has better battery life, then you should go with the Honor 8X. But then honestly, like I said, you've got other devices like the Zenfone Max Pro as well as the Nokia 6.1 Plus that do much better in terms of the camera performance, and they've got stock Android as well. So yeah, ultimately the choice is yours. You've got way too many good smartphones in this price bracket, and almost any phone that you pick, you're going to be happy with it. So if you want the best looking phone in this price bracket with the biggest display and good battery life, and you don't mind compromising on the camera a bit and the software, then you can go with the Honor 8X. I have no issues in recommending this phone, and if you were on the fence of buying the Honor 8X, I hope that I've made it easier for you. That's all I have to say about the Honor 8X. If you guys liked the video, then definitely let me know in the comments. Please hit the like button, and do let me know whether you would like to buy the Honor 8X or some other phone if you had 15,000 rupees. You can also follow my Facebook, Twitter and Instagram page for more behind the scenes update. If you'd like to buy the tempered glass for the Honor 8X, go check out the link in the video's description. And if you're here for the first time, then subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back in our notifications very soon. Peace.